I missed it.
I don't know. What did
dragging? I don't know that term.
I mean, I remember him getting out of the octagon and just high-fiving everybody. Maybe it was a high-fiving, Ari Emanuel.
I just know that we're back.
One of the fascinating things he said, I actually want to start with you, Dean. I want to hear about his performance and what you saw tonight. But the fact that he just was confident that, like, no, I'm going to train at normal times and rely on the crowd to wake me up. As a coach, how would you have felt
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah?
Because I feel like when you start walking out there, everything's going to go away. There's no way that you're about to get in a fist fight and they go, oh, man, no, there's no way with that. So I agree with that. If that was his process, I'm going to let him stick with that process.
Yep.
But as for his performance, I thought it was a very mature performance. I thought he didn't panic on the feet. He looked all right on the feet. He stayed away from Bobby Green's hands, and then he forced Bobby to shoot on him. And he's got a great ground game. Submissions, I mean, he had the guillotine, switched to the triangle, had the armbar triangle. I mean, all that looked good. I mean, more so than anything, Bobby looked bad.
Yep.
But Paddy looked okay. I mean, he's a high-level performer. The lights does not bother him. And that's a skill in itself, so I got to give him his props.
He looked gigantic also. That was the immediate visual. I was like, man, he is a big lightweight, a long frame. If he can get the striking and become confident in it, lure people in the way that he did tonight, I mean, we have a potential star on our hands. He's already a star. If he can back up his fame that he's already got with a fight style that will compel people, scare people, get people excited, we've got a superstar on our hands.
I don't get it. I couldn't tell you one line that he's ever said. He's kind of known for his interview. I couldn't tell you one line, but I've enjoyed them all. I don't get it. I don't really see where his great striking is. I've never seen him lose a kickboxing battle. I don't get it. He was never a threat for Abu Dhabi or any wrestling matches in his life. I don't see him getting out grappled. One thing about Paddy I would like to give him credit for, they've called him Fatty the Baddy. They've teased him for his weight going up, his weight going down in every camp that he's had, but this one. That did not happen. Those pictures did not surface. He did not look overly hurt yesterday at the weigh-ins. It seems like possibly there's a life of discipline. There's a life of more of an athlete. Possibly we have a regional fighter that is seizing an opportunity. And to your point, Dean, he knows how to compete. He can walk out there and be silly for the cameras and have Bobby Green yelling at him like it's going to be a liquor store fight, to quote Air. But he can go out and perform. And I got to give that to him. It's a hard thing to do at home. It's not a home field advantage in fighting. It's a disadvantage. He's dealt with it twice now that I've seen.
And you can't teach that.
You can't teach it.
You can't teach that.
No,
you either have that
like
or you
Dean
don't
said,
have that.
It's definitely a skill. He has had a very interesting career, and that whatever the reaction has been, it's been a strong one. It's been like, oh, this guy is not as good as they're saying he is. And now it's like, oh, he's way better than we all thought he was. Like, what is the truth, Laura? Like, where are we at? What is the potential? What is the ceiling? What do you see in the future of this guy?
He'll be ranked, won't he? He gets a ranking.
Yes. I mean, he's in the top 15 now. This is the thing. He's in the top 15 now. And when you look at the rankings, there are some good fights. I love the Renato Moicano call out, but there are some very scary fights. What if BSD wins that fight? Do we want to see Paddy Pimblett versus Benoit Saint-Denis? I don't love that fight for Paddy. I don't see a fight with Gamrot or Chandler, perhaps Dariush. I don't think he wants any part of Fiziev.
Chandler's somewhat interesting.
Chandler is interesting. Yes.
That's kind of interesting.
Because I just picture Michael Chandler literally only fighting Conor McGregor. It's like he's not even on there, to be honest with you. I just went over it.
You get the wish version of Conor McGregor in Paddy.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Well, that's kind of what I was thinking. It's not a bad replacement.
It's the wish version, yeah.
By the way, guys, Paddy the Baddy is 2 fights. Now, they got to be the right 2 fights. He is 2 fights away from fighting for the world championship.
And you said that earlier.
Yes.
And all of us on this desk know how the sport works and how the UFC works. Yep. I think that the 2 fights are Renato and Michael Chandler. And that's what gets him to the title fight.
Yeah, it could be. And not just a title fight where the UFC is going to want to use him because he's obviously good for business. A title fight where we are saying, I think Paddy the Baddy should be next and get a title fight. I mean, at 155 pounds, you know what a compliment that is? That is the hardest division in our sport. That has always been the hardest division in our sport.
To be able to be in this conversation, you had to have done the work on 2 fronts, and he has done that. In terms of making himself an interesting person and now passing every single test that has been put in front of him. However, I still go away with your thought that tonight Bobby Green made a major error. And I don't want to be someone, I'm not going to take the shine away from Paddy. He deserves every bit of that $200,000 that he is getting. But there are still questions.
I agree with the questions. I'm still kind of like, I don't know. But if he were to get that Michael Chandler fight, the way I see it is, he might have the advantage in that fight.
Yeah.
He's taller, he's longer, he can strike with Michael Chandler. And what's Michael Chandler gonna do? Take him down? Paddy's excellent on the ground.
Yeah.
So I think a fight with Moicano is actually harder. If I'm him, I'm avoiding the Moicano fight and trying to get the Chandler fight.
And by the way, there are supposed to be questions. He just got into the top 15 for the first time. So we're sitting up here saying like, hey, there's still questions, like it's a bad thing. No, there's supposed to be questions, especially in that deep a division.